press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Today we shall start the lesson which is in your history part, that is the Mughal Empire. The chapter number 4, the Mughal Empire. The Mughal Empire. Okay. Ruling as a large territory like Indian subcontinent is very difficult task. Ruling as a large territory like Indian subcontinent is very difficult task because there is unity in diversity. We can observe the diversity in all over the subcontinent. For example, we can observe the diversity in people, culture, religion, language, customs, rituals, etc. In this situation, the Mughals established their dynasty in the Middle Ages. The Mughal established their dynasty in Middle Ages. From the later half of the 16th century, they expanded their kingdom from Agra and Delhi. In the Middle Age, they established their kingdom here. Later, from half of the 16th century, they expanded their kingdom from Agra and Delhi. Until in the 17th century, they controlled nearly all over the subcontinent. They controlled nearly all over the subcontinent. And that time they imposed the structures of administration. And idea of governance. The idea of governance outlasted their rule. Okay. During this period, they built many buildings, palaces, mosques, etc. in India. During their period, they built many buildings, mosques, palaces, etc. One of the important building, the Prime Minister of India addressed the nation on Independence Day from rampart of the Red Fort in Delhi. That is the residence of the Mughals and also built by them. Okay, let us learn who were the Mughals. Were they foreigners or the Indians? Let us learn about that. Okay, who were the Mughals? Were they foreigners or Indians? Who were the Mughals? Were they Indians or were they foreigners? They were foreigners. Yes, they were foreigners. The Mughals were descendants of two great lineages of rulers. The Mughals were descendants of the two great lineages of rulers. Two great lineages of the rulers. One from rulers. From one side, they were the descendants of the Genghis Khan. Here, the Mughals were the descendants of the two great lineages. Okay, one from their mother side. One from mother's side. On the other hand, there was also descendants of one of the great lineages of rulers from the father's side. Okay. From the mother's side, they were the descendants of the Genghis Khan. From the mother side, they were the descendants of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. Who was he? Genghis Khan. The Mughals were the descendants of the Genghis Khan from the mother's side. Okay. Who was he? Who was Genghis Khan? He was the Mongol ruler. Genghis Khan was the Mongol ruler. Okay. He ruled over the China and some parts of China and Central Asia. He ruled over some parts of China and Central Asia. Okay. From their father side, on the other side, from the father's side, they were the successor of Taimur. They were the successor of Taimur. Taimur was their ancestor. Okay. In this way, the Mughals were descendants of two great lineages of rulers. Okay. So the Mughals did not like to be called as the Mongol. The Mughals were not ready to call them as the Mongols. Means they were not ready to accept they were the descendants of the Genghis Khan. Why? Because he was a cruel person. Genghis Khan, one of the very cruel person. He killed many peoples unhumanly. He killed many peoples unhumanly or mercilessly. So for that purpose, and also his name was associated. The Genghis Khan's name was associated with the massacre of innumerable peoples. The Genghis Khan's name was associated with the massacre of innumerable peoples. So the Mughals did not like to, they called them their ancestor. Okay, and also he had the link with the Uzbeks. The another Mughal tribute, that is Uzbeks. They have Genghis Khan have the link with Uzbeks. Oh, those Uzbeks were the competitors of the Mughals. Those Uzbeks were the competitor of the Mughals. So the Mughals did not like, they were the ancestors of the Genghis Khan. Okay, but they like. On the other hand, the Mughals were like to call them, they are the Taimur was their ancestor. They likes to call the Taimur was their ancestor, because they accept the Taimur ancestry. The Mughals accepted the Taimurid ancestry because the Taimur captured the Delhi in 1398. Taimur captured the Delhi in 1398. Okay, in this way, the Mughals were the descendants of the two great lineages rules. Okay, next let us learn about who established the Mughal dynasty in India and how he established their dynasty in India. Okay, let us learn about that. The establishment of Mughal dynasty. Establishment of Mughal dynasty. Establishment of Mughal dynasty. Who established the Mughal dynasty in India? Mughal dynasty. Who established the Mughal dynasty in India? Let us learn about that. Okay, Babur. The Babur established the Mughal dynasty in India. Babur established the Mughal dynasty in India. Let us learn who was Babur and how he established his Mughal dynasty in India. Okay, the Babur was the first Mughal emperor. Babur was the first Mughal emperor. First he became the king of Fargana. First he became the king of Fargana. Fargana. Okay. When he became the king of Fargana, at that time he was only 12 years old. He was 12 years old when he was become the ruler of Fargana in 1494. In 1494, he became the ruler of Fargana. And that time he was only 12 years old. Okay. So when he was ruling, when he became the ruler of Fargana, then the another Mongol group called Uzbeks. I already told Uzbeks, isn't it? Uzbeks were the another Mongol group. The another Mongol group called Uzbeks. Uzbeks. Another Mongol groups called Uzbeks attacked on Babar. The another Mongol groups called Uzbeks were attacked on Babar. As a result, Babar lost his throne. Babar lost his throne and he wandered some years. Some years later, he captured the Kabul in 1504. He captured the Kabul. Kabul. He captured the Kabul in 1504. Okay. So later, he entered the India. After capturing the Kabul, later he entered into India. And let us learn how he entered the India and how he established his kingdom here. Okay. So when he entered the India, at that time he fought one of the important battle that is known as the Battle of Panipat. The Battle of Panipat. The Battle of Panipat. When he entered to India, then he started the battle against the Indian rulers. Let us learn about the Battle of Panipat. Okay, this battle was held in 1526. This battle was held in 1526 against the Sultan of Delhi. His name was Ibrahim Lodi. Against the Sultan of Delhi. Sultan of Delhi. His name was Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi. When Babar entered to India, then he started the fought against the Sultan of Delhi. His name was Ibrahim Lodi. Okay, they both were met at the place called Panipat. Both were met at the place called Panipat in 1526. So this event is known as the Battle of Panipat. In this battle, Babar got victory and he defeated. Babar defeated not only the Ibrahim Lodi and also his Afghan support. At that time, Sultan of Delhi, Ibrahim Lodi took the help of the Afghan support. Took the help of the Afghans. So on that time, the Babar defeated the Ibrahim Lodi and his Afghan supporters. In this way, he captured the Delhi and Agra. After the defeating of Ibrahim Lodi, Babar captured the two important places in India. Those were Delhi and Agra. In this way, Delhi and Agra come under the control of the Babar. Okay, Delhi and Agra come under the control of the Babar. So the Battle of Panipat was very important event in the history of India because this battle was this battle gave a chance to the Mughals to establish their kingdom in India. Okay, for that purpose, the Battle of Panipat was very important event in the history of India. In this way, Babur established his kingdom in India. Okay, next let us learn about what were the major campaigns of the Mughals and the important events which were held in India. Let us learn one by one. Okay, first we learn about the Babur, the major campaigns and events. Major campaigns. Major campaigns. Major campaigns and events which were held during the period of the Mughals. Let us learn one by one. Okay, first we learn about the major campaigns which were held during the period of the Babur. Okay, so Babur start his rule in India 1526 to 1530. Babur start his ruling in 1526. So his administration or his ruling was ended in 1530. During this period, what happened in India? Let us learn one by one. Okay, I already told Babur fought the important battle called the Battle of Panipat. I already explained about that. That is the one of the important event and important battle during the Babur time was held. The first one is the Battle of Panipat. Battle of Panipat. It was held in 1526. Babur fought many wars against the Indian rulers. Let us learn one by one. Okay, the first battle was fought between the Babur and Ibrahim Lodi, that is known as the Battle of Panipat. Okay, in the Battle of Panipat, Babur got victory and the Lodi defeated. Okay, not only Babur defeated the Lodi and also he defeated his Afghan supporters. Okay, the another war was fought in 1527, that is known as the Battle of Khanwa. Next one is the Battle of Khanwa. Battle of Khanwa. Battle of Khanwa. The another important battle was held in Babur period, that is known as the Battle of Khanwa. So it was held in 1527. It was held in 1527. In this battle, he fought against the Rana Sanga. Babur fought against the Rana Sanga. Rana Sanga was the Rajput ruler. Rana Sanga was the Rajput ruler. He fought against the Babur. Rana Sanga fought against the Babur in the place called Khanwa. So this battle is known as the Battle of Khanwa. It is held in 1527. Okay, in this battle, Babur defeated the Rana Sanga and his allies. In this battle, Babur defeated the Rana Sanga and his allies. Okay, here Rana Sanga was defeated. Okay, very next year, again the Rajputs fought against the Babur. So the another battle was held between the Rajputs and the Babur, that is known as the Battle of Chanderi. Battle of Chanderi. The next battle, that is known as Battle of Chanderi. This was the another battle fought between the Rajputs and the Babur. It was held in the place called Chanderi. So this battle was known as the Battle of Chanderi. It was held in 1528. This battle was held in 1528. Okay. In this battle also, the Babur got victory. The Rajputs were defeated. As a result, Agra and Delhi come under the control of the Babur. Agra and Delhi come under the control of the Babur. In this way, he took control from Agra and means the Agra and Delhi come under the control of the Babur before his death. Okay. Next, after he was died in 1530. Later, after the death of the Babur, his son came to the throne. His name was Humayun. Let us learn about the Humayun. Humayun was the son of Babur. Humayun was the son of the Babur. Babur did not have only one son called Humayun. He had many sons. Means the Humayun had more brothers. Okay. So Humayun's ruling time can be divided into two parts. The Humayun's ruling time can be divided into two parts, that is 1532 1540. The Humayun's ruling time were divided into two stage, that is 1530 to 1540. The other one is 1555 to 1556. Okay. I already told Humayun had more brothers, many brothers. Humayun had many brothers. He divided his inheritance according to the will of his father. He means Humayun. Humayun divided his inheritance. Inheritance means ancestral kingdom. Means the kingdom which is come from his father Babur. That is known as inheritance. Humayun divided his inheritance according to the wish of his father. Who was the father of Humayun? Babur. Yes. According to the wish of Babur or according to the will of the Babur, he divided his kingdom. So each brother had the provinces. As a result, each brother given a provinces. Okay. So among them, he had many brothers. Among them, Mirza Kamran were very ambitious. Mirza Kamran. Who was Mirza Kamran? Mirza Kamran was the brother of Humayun. Mirza Kamra was the brother of the Humayun. He was very ambitious. Okay, he was very ambitious. He troubled Humayun very much. Mirza Kamran troubled Humayun very much. As a result, Humayun was defeated when the Afghan rulers were fought against the Humayun. So when the Afghans were attacked on Humayun, at that time Humayun was defeated in two battles. Let us learn about that. Okay, who was the Afghan rulers and how they defeat the Babur. Okay, so here the Afghan ruler is named called Sher Khan. Sher Khan was the ruler or leader of the Afghan. Sher Khan was the leader. Sher Khan was the leader of the Afghans. Sher Khan was the leader of the Afghans. When he attacked on Humayun, when Sher Khan attacked on the Humayun, they fought in two places. Those were called as the Battle of Chausa and Battle of Kanauj. The Battle of Chausa, Battle of Chausa. The Battle of Chausa. The another battle was also fought between the Humayun and Sher Khan, that is known as the Battle of Kanauj. Battle of Kanauj. Okay. The Battle of Chausa was held in 1539. The Battle of Chausa was held in 1539. It was held in 1539. In the same way, the Battle of Kanauj was also held in 1540. 1540. Listen here carefully. The two battles were held between the Sher Khan. Who was Sher Khan? Sher Khan was the Afghan leader. Okay, Sher Khan was the Afghan leader. He fought against the Humayun. So here Sher Khan defeated the Humayun in two battles. Okay, which were those battles? The Battle of Chausa and the Battle of Kanauj. In the Battle of Chausa was held in 1539 and the Battle of Kanauj was held in 1540. Both these two battles, the Humayun was defeated by the Sher Khan. As a result, he ran away to the Iran. Humayun was run away to the Iran. There he led a wandering life. He faced many difficulties in his wandering life. Okay. So there Akbar take birth in this period. In this period, Akbar take birth. Akbar was the son of the Humayun, great emperor. The great emperor Akbar took birth in the wandering life of the Humayun. Okay. Later, means this happened 1530 to 1540. Okay. Next we learn about what happened in 1555 to 1560. Okay. So later means in 1555. In 1555, the Afghan leader Sher Khan died. After the died of Sher Khan, Humayun again after the death of the Sher Khan in 1555, after the death of the Sher Khan, with the Humayun, with the help of the Safavids, he captured Delhi. Humayun captured the Delhi. After the death of the Sher Khan, Humayun captured the Delhi with the help of the Safavid Shah. With the help of the Safavid Shah. Okay. In 1555, Humayun captured the Delhi after the death of the Sher Khan with the help of the Safavid Shah. He captured the Delhi in 1555. In 1555, but he captured the Delhi in 1555. But the very next year he was died. Humayun was died. The accident which was held in his building, he was died. The accident which was held in his building, he was died in 1556. Okay. After the death of the Humayun, the Babur came to the Akbar came to the throne. Akbar. Who was Akbar? I already told. Akbar was the son of the Humayun. Akbar came to the throne. Akbar was the son of Humayun. Okay. So when Akbar came to the throne, he was only 13 years old. When Akbar became the emperor or the ruler, only he was 13 years old. So on that time his ruling in the name of Akbar, the Bairam Khan ruled here. Akbar was a small boy. As a result, Bairam Khan ruled in the name of Akbar. Okay. So the ruling period or the ruling time of the Akbar can be divided into 3 stages. The ruling period of Akbar can be divided into 3 stages. Let us learn one by one. Okay. The 3 stages were, one is 1556 to 1570. The first stage was 1556 to 1570. The second stage was 1570 to 1585. Okay. The third stage was 1585 to 1605. 1605. In this way, the Akbar ruling time can be divided into 3 stages, or the 3 periods. Okay, let us learn what happened in these stages one by one. First we learn what happened in 1556 to 1570, means the first stage. From 1556, Akbar became independent ruler. In 1556, Akbar became independent ruler. He launched military campaigns against the many rulers. He launched military campaigns against the Suris and other Afghans. First he launched the military campaigns against the Suris and other Afghans. And also he fought against the Malwa and Gondwana rulers. He fought against the Malwa and Gondwana rulers. First he launched his military campaigns against the Suris and other Afghans. Later he fought against the kingdoms called Malwa and Gondwana. So here Akbar got victory. Next the half brothers of the Akbar. His name was Mirza Hakim. Mirza Hakim was started the revolt against the Akbar. Mirza Hakim. Who was Mirza Hakim? Mirza Hakim was the half brother of the Akbar. He started the revolt against the Akbar. So not only the Mirza Hakim started the revolt, and also the Uzbeks. The Uzbeks were also start the revolt against the Akbar. So here then the Akbar suppressed this revolt of Mirza Hakim and also the Uzbeks. Okay. Next, in 1568, the Akbar captured Chittor. Akbar captured Chittor in 1568. Chittor, it was the capital of Sisodians. This was the Sisodia capital of Chittor was captured by the Akbar in 1568. Later, he captured another place called Ranthambore. In this way, the Ranthambore and Chittor come under the control of the Akbar in 1568 and 1569. Okay, 1568, Akbar captured the Chittor, and 1569 he captured or seized the another place called Ranthambore. Ranthambore was also captured by Akbar in 1569. In this way, he launched many military campaigns during the period of 1556 and 1517, and he captured many places under his control. Okay, this was the first stage. Let us learn what happened in the second stage. Okay, Next, the second stage or the second period of the second ruling period of the Akbar, that is 1570 to 1585. What happened during this period? Let us will know about that. Okay. In this period, he launched the many military campaigns. Especially, he started the military campaigns against the Gujarat, Bihar, Bengal, and Orissa. During the second stage, Akbar launched the military campaigns against the Gujarat, Bihar, Bengal, and Orissa. Bengal, Bihar, and Orissa. Okay, these campaigns complicated by the revolt in the support of the Mirza Hakim. Again, the half brother of the Akbar started to trouble the Akbar. So these campaigns become very difficult to defeat these rulers, because on that time the Mirza Hakim again he started the revolt and he supported them. As a result, it became very difficult to suppress these revolt, means to defeat these rulers. Okay, even though there is a difficult, the Akbar defeated these rulers, and also he suppressed the revolt of the his brother Mirza Hakim, and finally Akbar got victory. This was the second stage. These were the events which were held in the second ruling stage of the Akbar. Next we learn about the third stage. Okay, third stage starts from 1585 to 1605. 1585 to 1605. During this time, he tried to expand his territory. During this period, Akbar tried to expand his territory. For that purpose, especially for that purpose, he launched the campaigns in northwest, especially to expand their territory. For this intention, Akbar started the campaigns. Akbar launched the campaigns, especially in the northwest side. He captured Kandahar. From the Safavids. He captured Kandahar. From the Safavids. In Kandahar, Safavids were ruling. He captured Kandahar from the Safavids. Okay, and also he captured Kashmir. So later he also captured the Kabul. Kabul come under the control of the Akbar after the death of the Mirza Hakim. Kabul was also come under the control of the Akbar after the death of his half brother. His name was Mirza Hakim. Okay, in this way, Kandahar, Kashmir, and Kabul come under the control of the Akbar. Next, in the next campaigns, Akbar started his next campaigns in Deccan. He started his campaigns in Deccan. As a result, some places come under the control of the Akbar. Those were Berar, Khandesh. Next, Berar, Khandesh, and some parts of Ahmednagar. some parts of Ahmednagar come under the control of the Akbar. Okay, in this way, Akbar annexed many more places under his in his kingdom. So in this way, he got victory in all these campaigns. Okay, even though he was very brave and he got victory in all the campaigns, he was not happy in his olden days. He was not happy in his olden days. Do you know what happened in the last years of Akbar's rule? Yes, the last years of Akbar rules, the rebellion was started. Rebellion was started from the Prince Salim. Prince Salim was the son of the Akbar. Salim was the first name of the Jahangir. Means Jahangir started the rebellion against the Akbar. As a result, the Akbar was unhappy. Okay. Later, he was died in 1605. Since 1605, Akbar was died. 1605, the Akbar was died. After the death of the Akbar, who became the ruler? Yes, the Jahangir. Salim, the Prince Salim means Jahangir become the ruler of the emperor of the Mughals. Okay, let us learn about the Jahangir. Jahangir was the son of Akbar. Jahangir. The period of Jahangir was 1605 to 1627. 1605 to 1627. 1627. After the death of the Akbar, Jahangir became the ruler, the emperor of Mughals. Let us learn about the Jahangir. Okay, the military campaigns which were started during the period of Akbar was continued in the period of Jahangir was also. So here Jahangir captured many places. Let us learn about that one by one. Okay, first the Sisodia ruler of Mewar, his name was Amar Singh, accepted the Mughals service. Means Amar Singh accepted the Mughal services, and next he started the military campaigns against the Sikhs, Ahoms and Ahmednagar. But here the Jahangir got less success in these wars. Understood what happened? First Jahangir campaigned against the Sisodia ruler. Sisodia ruler, his name was Amar Singh. Sisodia ruler of Mewar, his name was Amar Singh. So he defeated the Amar Singh. As a result, Amar Singh accepted the Mughals service. Okay. Later he continued his campaigns against the Sikhs, Ahoms and Ahmednagar. He started the campaign. He means the Jahangir. Jahangir started the campaigns against the Sikhs, Ahoms and Ahmednagar. He fought against those rulers. So here he get less success. Okay, in these wars he get less success. Okay, in the olden days of the Aurangzeb was also not happy. In the olden days of the Jahangir was also not happy because his son started the rebellion against the Jahangir. Who was he? Do you know that? Yes, his name was Prince Khurram. Prince Khurram. Khurram. Who was he? He was the son of Jahangir. Khurram means the first name of Shah Jahan was known as the Khurram. He started the rebellion or revolt against the Jahangir. On that time, the wife of Jahangir wife of Jahangir, her name was Noor Jahan. Her name was Noor Jahan. Tried to avoid this revolt. She tried to avoid this revolt, but she did not get succeed. Okay. Next, he was died in 1627. Jahangir was died in 1627. After the death of the Jahangir, the Shah Jahan came to the throne. Okay, let us learn about Shah Jahan. Next, Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was the son of Jahangir. Okay, his first name was Khurram. Prince Khurram. Okay, he starts his rules in 1627 after the death of the Jahangir. His period was 1627 to 1658. Shah Jahan was the son of the Jahangir. The first name of Shah Jahan was Khurram. He started his ruling from 1627. So, during the period of Shah Jahan was also the campaigns continued. The Mughal campaigns continued during the period of Shah Jahan. Okay, especially they campaigned against the Deccan. As a result, some Deccan areas come under the control of the Shah Jahan. Okay. Next, the Afghan nobles, Khan Jahan Lodi, rebelled against the Shah Jahan. Next, the Afghan noble, his name was Khan Jahan Lodi. Khan Jahan Lodi. Khan Jahan Lodi Who was the Khan Jahan Lodi? He was the Afghan noble. Khan Jahan Lodi started the revolt against the Shah Jahan, but his revolt was suppressed by the Shah Jahan. Means Khan Jahan Lodi was defeated by the Shah Jahan. Okay. So next he launched his campaign against Ahmednagar Bundels. So next he launched his campaigns against the Ahmednagar Bundels. Here the Ahmednagar and Bundels, the ruler of Ahmednagar and Bundels, were also defeated by the Shah Jahan. Okay. Next in the northwest, the campaigns to seize bulk. Later he seized the bulk from the Uzbeks. The seize of bulk from the Uzbeks was unsuccessful, and also the Kandahar was lost to the Safavis. Okay. In 1632, Ahmednagar was finally annexed. In 1632, Ahmednagar was finally annexed. So later, the Bijapur forces sue for the peace. The Bijapur rulers sue for the peace, means they are ready to treaty with the Shah Jahan. Okay. In this way, he launched many military campaigns. Among them, some are defeated and some are got victory here. So later in 1657, in the period of 1657 and 1658, the conflicts was start between the Shah Jahan's son. You know what happened in 1657 to 1658? The conflicts was starts between the Shah Jahan's son. Okay. So Aurangzeb, among them, the Aurangzeb got victory, and his three brothers were defeated. Not only defeated, so his three brothers, including Dara Shikoh, was killed. Dara Shikoh was killed on that time. So, and also the Shah Jahan was imprisoned. Shah Jahan was imprisoned in the rest of his life in Agra. Okay. In this way, In this way, the Aurangzeb came to the throne. Okay. We shall stop here. We shall continue the next period. Okay. Thank you.